Sawasdee krap, welcome to Thailand News Today. It's Wednesday and we've got a lot of news to get through today. But before we do, just a reminder that we do this for you free every day. The least you can do is subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate it. Let's get started. The government's going to extend the nationwide emergency decree all the way through till January the 15th next year. The PM cited the need to prevent a resurgence in coronavirus infections during the peak New Year travel period. The impasse with protesters was not brought up as a reason to extend the current emergency decree. The proposed extension will require official endorsement by the Thai cabinet next week. It'll be the 8th extension to the emergency decree, which was first invoked in March this year. After discussions, a decision to reduce the current 14-day mandatory quarantine has been deferred for now, but the CCSA did approve the use of golf resorts as quarantine centres. 6 protesters have been reportedly shot with live rounds during the chaos yesterday afternoon and early evening, as protesters tried to march to the front of the Thai parliament. They were shot with live rounds according to medical staff who attended to their injuries. Inside the parliament, lawmakers debated proposals for possible constitutional reform. At this stage, it's not clear who opened fire. Police also used tear gas and tear gas-laced water from a high-powered water cannon truck on demonstrators. Protesters pushed through barricades of concrete blocks and razor wire laid earlier in the day by police to make their way to the front of the parliament. The police maintained they were within their rights to defend the parliament building and its occupants. According to the Erawan Emergency Medical Centre, ambulance officers and medical coordination officials, more than 50 people were injured in the melee, mostly caused by tear gas fumes. They also reported that 6 people were shot. Later in the afternoon, royalists and pro-government supporters were seen throwing bricks and other objects at protesters. Police have denied the use of live rounds or rubber bullets. The Deputy PM says that while the Bank of Thailand is monitoring the rise of the Thai Baht, he says the rise is probably only temporary. He says the appreciation is being driven by foreign investors turning to the markets as they seek to make a profit by the end of the year. The baht appreciated 8.2% since April against the US dollar and now sits at around 30.34 baht to the USD. The Bank of Thailand is blaming speculators for the current popularity of the Thai baht, a floating currency at the mercy of the world's currency markets and speculators since 1997. The Thai cabinet's approved an amendment to the country's laws that will allow abortion in the first 12 weeks of pregnancy. The Cabinet's approved to amend the law of abortion in the Thai Criminal Code for women who are not more than 12 weeks pregnant and can be legally aborted. In the announcement, the Cabinet said that the 12-week period of pregnancy is a safe period for abortion, confirmed by the Medical Council of Thailand and the Royal Thai College of the Obstetricians and Gynecologists. As far as we know, there are no females in the Thai Cabinet. And now Bangkok taxi drivers will be able to charge passengers an additional 20 to 100 baht for handling large pieces of luggage. Under the new regulations, taxi drivers are required to tell passengers about the extra costs before they ride. Bags larger than 20 inches will be 20 baht, and items larger than 50 inches will be no more than 100 baht. Other large items like sports equipment, bicycles, surfboards or musical instruments can be charged up to 100 baht as well. The Transport Ministry says people will not be charged extra for handicap equipment like wheelchairs and walking sticks. And tourists used to flock to Maya Bay, the beach featured in the movie The Beach from the year 2000, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and directed by Danny Boyle. Since the movie, the tourist magnet on Koh Phi Phi Lay became a mecca for the backpacker crowd, followed by a mass tourist flock, bringing some 5,000 plus tourists to the small bay every day at its peak. But in June 2018, Thai marine officials and the management of the national park controlling the PP Islands banned visits to Maya Bay. The pilgrimage to the beach was over and the environmentally abused bay got a chance to recover. But Maya Bay, used in the film, wasn't even the inspiration for the original novel that spawned the film. The actual beach was probably a secluded little stretch of sand on Koh Phangan on the other side of the Malay Peninsula from Koh Phi Phi Lay in the Gulf of Thailand near Koh Samui. The resort and the beach along the front of the wellness resort is called The Sanctuary. And all that's by way of an introduction to a report we've done on thetiger.com called Tracking Down the Beach. Hope you get an opportunity to read that and find out a bit more about the sanctuary. In the meantime, thank you for joining us on Thailand News Today. I spoke about subscribing before. Just mention it again. In the meantime, we hope you have a fantastic Wednesday. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.